Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan. Next to me is the corpse of my good friend Jake.
And I'm Mac, and
the future corpse.
Yes, the future corpse for this episode, and I have to venerate and honor the great and benevolent Yokozuna Flyric, who unfortunately, due to his Yokozuna-ness, is not among us today.
He is actually on a trip to SeaWorld down in Florida to observe and learn more about seals and whales and dolphins so that he can further make his analogies on our preview episodes make sense. So this is our Haru recap episode. We have a very exciting Basho to talk about for some people. For other people, we have a very devastating Basho to talk about as Jake's head is off of the table now. Jake, how the hell are you?
I'd like to talk about the Natsu Basho.
We can't do that yet.
It was even closer than the last time that Takayasu had it in the bag.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker.
So yes, we are talking about the first time Yusho winner, Sekiwake Wakatakakage, Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage, Sekiwake.
That is nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sekiwake Takakage.
We didn't have our first time winner in the opening tournament for this year, so at least we got it for the second one. So we're still on track.
It had to happen.
It had to happen.
Jake, let's cheer you up a little bit. There's a couple of shout-outs you want to make before we dive into the results of this Basho.
I'd like to shout out Mac for losing the punishment series at the very least. That was kind of him.
So, well, you know what? If anything, I am a considerate person.
I
try to help those less fortunate than myself.
Mac,
and for Takayasu fans, this was the best thing that I could do.
And it doesn't help.
No, I'm sorry.
We'll see after the punishments commence if it helps at all.
I will feel a sting, if you will.
Yeah.
Watching you in pain, it is probably going to cheer me up quite a bit.
And this also is going to go out to Ben's cat. I'm sorry for what I put you through with all of that. You know who we're talking about. And no, you don't remember that at all?
I have no idea.
My
what's
erotica
going on.
punishments apparently are just awful for some people, and I hope this will be a good act of contrition for all of you, including any cats that might have been exposed to this. We got yelled at on Twitter because of that, if you recall. So
some poor cat had to listen to your porn.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So please consider this
to edit it.
an act of contrition. Well, I don't care about you in that way.
Where's my apology?
Anyway.
But yeah, so the things other than Mac's future pain and suffering that I wanted to shout out, go check out Dark Circle Sumo and Lone Star Sumo's channel on YouTube. There was the only all-female sumo tournament in America happened this weekend, and it was fantastic. There were some excellent matches from wrestlers that we'd seen getting started over the last year or so that are really coming into their own. There was a lot of great matches. Eros Armstrong, the reigning heavyweight champ, was the host of the tournament. She did not wrestle, but I think there were 7 competitors from around Texas, and that's more than they've ever had at that tournament before. So that was pretty cool. Also, the U.S. National Tournament is coming up in Salt Lake City in April. Where can we find more information on that? I think the USSF website is updated now with details.
Yes. Otherwise, you can check them out on FitCon. That is where the event is going to be held.
FitCon, as a convention, one of the exhibits. What do you call it? What do you call a thing at a convention?
Yeah, that'd be an exhibit.
Sure, but one of the bigger and more popular ones when they do that has been sumo wrestling, and we are combining that with the national tournament this year.
Mm-hmm.
Mac and I will be traveling to Salt Lake City to pretend that we are extroverts on microphones again.
Assuming I'm alive at that time.
Yes, assuming Mac makes it through this episode of eating whatever spicy and crazy weird stuff we make him eat because he lost.
We expanded it a little bit more.
Yes.
It's not just spicy foods. It's just also outright disgusting things.
Yeah, Mac waited until day 12 to remind us that he has a nightshade allergy, which means that 99% of spicy stuff.
We're all there with the eggplant lasagna
That
incident
was
that my wife
years
made.
ago.
That was years ago, and it's also your responsibility when somebody says, hey, I'm going to get the one chip challenge, the thing that's like super really spicy.
Hey, guys.
It's your responsibility, like, oh, remember I have that nightshade allergy? I can't do that. Oh,
You
okay,
said
I won't
ghost
do it.
peppers. I can handle ghost peppers.
Hey, we're about to do our preview episode. Which punishments should we put in the Takayasu teacup? I don't know, the spicy one? Any objections?
As we have said, if it is mentioned on the show, we are blood-bound to do it.
Canon.
It is canon, and unfortunately, that came out of somebody else's mouth, Ryan, before I could rebuttal.
Oh,
So-
yeah. You had no other opportunities to say otherwise.
No, you assholes wouldn't let me
We're
do it
going to move
anyway.
on, though, because I am looking forward to you needing to take a sip or two of the concoction I made.
I don't want to.
It's not spicy, but it's milk with a bunch of salt in it, which is going to be real gross.
Yeah.
Awful. Yeah, it's real bad. Me and Ryan had to try it just out of like morbid curiosity,
Yeah.
and
I don't want to.
you're correct.
Too bad.
Anyways, we got some Patreon compliments.
Yes, we do. Jake, why don't you start us off with that?
Since last episode, we did get one new patron, so David Clark. I just wanted to say that when Tamawashi mercilessly flips me off the dohyo like he did to Ura, I hope it's your lap that I land in to cushion my fall.
That was a beautiful somersault, though.
I feel like Ura, like before he leaves the ground, already has a plan,
He knows how to land safely for himself.
yet spectacularly.
Yes.
How can I be as safe and as visually crazy as possible?
Yeah. And to our continuing patrons, Joe Hobbs, Paul Simpson, Summer, Mark Burgess, Robbie Gardner, Barron, Corey, with a K, Thora Cottrell, Jessica Buckland, Devin Peterson, Radish Cat, Josh Schaff, Heather Jawkins, and Dick Flair. If any of you were Aqua, we would let you successfully execute your terrible kakanage throw on us. We're just that nice of people.
Oh, that is very kind.
So before we get into the full results of the Haru Basho, Jake, you wanted to play a little game of roulette.
Yes, and this is because Flyric won and is absent.
Yokozuna Flyric. We
Yokozuna
miss
Flyric. Yep, sorry. I do feel like it would only be fair that we all have a little punishment.
Sure.
So,
I mean, I disagree. I finished in second. I feel like I am not on the block
but
to do anything.
if I win this game, it will be very pleasant for me. So
right.
All right.
we're going to go with that. But I found something at the grocery store recently that seems very unpleasant. Spicy pickle whiskey. So we're going to play a game of roulette.
Oh, no.
We're going to play a game of roulette with pickle whiskey and ginger beer. Before me, I have 3 shot glasses,
Oh, dear.
2 of which will be ginger beer.
Which
One
I
of-
assume is the good option. I don't know that either of these is nice for Ryan.
I often keep ginger beer around because it's excellent. It's an excellent mixer. I'm not a huge fan of it on its own, but it's, I don't know,
It's
good
probably
stuff.
better than spicy pickle whiskey.
I can guarantee that.
Yeah, boy.
You can see the spicy pickle whiskey is not full. I have sampled it. It's
Yep.
not great. It's weird.
All right.
It's very weird. So, you guys, on the honor system,
Yep.
I would like you guys to close your eyes.
Done.
Good job. You're very quick at that.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
It's something that I can usually finish the task of within 5 to 10 seconds.
That's
As soon as I begin closing my eyes, usually within 5 to 10 seconds, they are closed. It's a special skill of mine. All right, so Mac, while we have our eyes closed and
Yes?
Jake is pouring this concoction, you kind of see what we have laid out before you. What item are you most afraid of eating right now?
eating
Or drinking.
Oh, drinking. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, eating. I'm like,
Eating, there's very few options.
There's very few
Drinking,
options
there's
for
a
eating.
lot more.
Drinking, I have to go with that milk concoction, just because I generally like milk, and I don't want
Not
this to
anymore.
that's what I don't want. So I'm like, I like milk.
Do you
So-
have any issues with whole milk? Because that's what I got.
Oh, you got the sugar kind. Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, I don't have issues with it other than it's one of my favorites. I get it as a treat for myself.
All right, boys.
Mac just likes to treat himself. We can open our eyes.
Get what?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Why would you say okay,
Exactly.
boys?
That's why I opened my eyes.
Because
briefly.
I was
Like,
saying
what?
we no longer have to kill time.
Okay.
Because It is now time to choose. They are all visually similar. You may open your eyes.
All right.
I
Mac-
poured, so you guys get to pick.
All right.
Ah, hell.
Now, the one closest to you.
I clearly can't choose the one in front of me. Yeah. Now we all know the Princess Bride thing here.
Fuck. I'm just going to go with this one.
Are you sure?
Going with the one closest to me. Oh, I dropped an F-bomb.
Okay.
Ooh, all right.
that you
Everybody be careful.
All right. On 3.
Kampai.
Kampai. Let's cheers right over Ryan's laptop.
Sounds good to me.
All right, here goes.
That was pickle whiskey.
What's your problem? I think they were all pickle whiskey.
As our viewers may know, they were all pickle
That's
whiskey.
what I was about to say. They were all pickle whiskey.
That's why they were so visually similar.
I was about to say, I could tell by the smell. I'm like, oh, I got whiskey.
Oh, it is potent.
It is quite good.
And it is pickly. Oh, feel the burn. All right, nothing like taking a shot at the top of the podcast. All right.
Hang on.
Mac is instantly going for the salt milk, which
That's not
I
gonna
cannot
help, man.
recommend
It's not going
to
to
do.
help.
But
All right. Well, let's
What
get
are
some
these
more.
chunks in here. What did you do?
We're going to get one more punishment out of the way here. And
No.
all right, have at it. Get one hearty sip.
going again?
I sampled it beforehand to make sure it was perfectly disgusting. So that is a poker face if I've ever seen one. The bucket's over there if you need to.
I don't know. I think we got to fill up. Yeah. I think we got to fill up one of these shot glasses. Not fill up, but pour a little into the shot glass and see if he's actually drinking any. I don't buy it.
No, I will say that I know he's got a good poker face.
He does.
But make
But
sure to
he's-
get it right over Ryan's computer.
Right over. No.
Okay, let's move on to the sumo.
Yes. I was
Yes.
about to say,
All right.
Enough of this.
Like we said on the Midway episode, 10 minutes in, then you're going to start getting your sumo content. So your winner of the Basho, as we mentioned beforehand, is Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage. He had a 12-3 record. This is his first career Yusho. He is actually the first Sekiwake to win a Yusho in his debut as a Sekiwake, and only the 7th Sekiwake to get 12 or more wins in his debut as a Sekiwake. So
That's pretty cool.
that is awesome.
an historically great Sekiwake debut for Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage. Then your June Yusho winner, Jake. Earmuffs right now, buddy. Maegashira 7.
Oh, it doesn't help.
Maegashira 7, Takayasu also finished with a 12-3 record, but he failed in the playoff against Wakatakakage. This is the 5th career June Yusho for Takayasu. It was setting up great in the playoff match for him. He did his signature shrug again.
Yes.
I don't know
I
when the
missed
last
that
time
shrug.
we saw the shrug, but he did the shrug and the for the playoff match.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
For the ears and the heart. You don't need to do that.
It was not enough, however, for Takayasu, as in a very exciting match, victory was snatched from him by Wakatakakage at the last second. But this does tie a career-high amount of wins for Takayasu with 12 wins. We had some special prizes that were handed out. The Gino Show Technique Prize went to Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage. This is his 3rd career Gino Show Technique Prize and his 3rd special prize overall. The Shukun Show Outstanding Performance Prize also went to Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage. This is his
Every time, right?
Every time.
Probably not, but most of the time.
Okay.
I can promise most of the time.
Okay.
This is his first career Shuken Show Outstanding Performance Prize and his 4th special prize overall. We also had 2 Kanto Show Fighting Spirit prizes given away. One of those was to Maegashira 6 Kotonowaka, finished with an 11-4 record. This is his 3rd career Kanto Show Fighting Spirit prize and his 3rd special prize overall. Mac, how is that salty milk sitting with you?
That combined
Is it
with
heavy?
the pickle whiskey, I'm like, oh, I am not going to have a good day.
No, you are not.
Wait, I'm actually being punished.
Yes.
I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy this.
Duh, that's the idea.
At long last, I finally feel like I'm being punished for something.
Good.
It only took us 5 years, but I'm
I
glad
know,
we got
right?
there.
I'm like, well, better late than never, I suppose. I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good.
And the other Kanto Show Fighting Spirit prize went to Maegashira 7 Takayasu. This is his 5th career Fighting Spirit prize and his 10th career special prize overall.
Would you say that's salt in the wound at this point?
That's salt in the milk, definitely.
Well, oh, bravo. Bravo, sir.
Oh, that's a real salt in the milk right there.
Well, to appease that, I
Max just going hardcore on all
I
this
have
stuff.
to. So
He just really
as-
wants to have a poor performance here today. Just
You're gonna get what you paid for at this point. So
the price was still very high though.
Yeah, it is true. But my contribution to this was some extra hot pickled jalapenos. So my nightshade allergy doesn't extend to pickled peppers. So it has not been altered.
Get it over Ryan's computer.
Okay,
real quick.
right. So
Heard the pop. So
So you're
Mac
taking a
is.
shot of that, right? Or what?
well, I could take a shot of it if you want.
That's probably not all that unpleasant.
We'll save it
could
for
go all
later.
over your table. I don't know if you'd actually enjoy that. But jalapenos, kanpai.
I'm just gonna stick my finger all
Oh,
up in
jeez.
there.
Why are you doing this?
Oh, you got like second
like
knuckle in
jalapenos.
that jar there.
I know
Wow.
I did. But I'll eat 3 of them at a time just to appease you guys.
Yeah, it does help. Yeah, I didn't know how much it would, but it does.
There's a spiciness to
I
that.
told you. it would.
And once again, no special prizes handed out to Kagayaki. And unfortunately,
As is tradition.
this is another goodbye to Kagayaki.
Oh, it is.
He
isn't
had
it?
a
He's going back down.
7-8 record at Maegashira 17.
Oh.
Based on
It's
early
pretty-
looks at the next Bansuke,
Wait.
Kagayaki's going back down to Juryo.
So
again.
it looks like Aqua probably, maybe Chionokuni.
Aqua, Kagayaki are the slam dunks. Chionokuni is a maybe.
Because I know well, I'm sure we'll talk about this later, but Juryo, there are a few definite promotions coming up from Juryo.
Oho and Azumaryu.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to depend. Do they want to boot Chionokuni and bring up Midori Fuji, or are they going to keep Midori Fuji in Juryo?
I'd say Chiyomaru's another contender for at least dropping down. He was a 5-10.
Yeah, him and Chionokuni. There's just not another. So Chionokuni also had a 5-10 record at Maegashira 13. He was on the west side, so he'd be demoted before Chiyomaru. And there's not like a fourth promotable case from Juryo.
Yeah.
So that really is helping out Chiyomaru.
So he
here.
may luck out,
I don't know why we're
despite
talking
not
Bansuke.
earning it. But anyways,
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, a preview for an episode to come in about a week's time. So let's talk about how Shinseki Wakatakakage won his Yusho. And it came down to 3 matches on Senshuraku on day 15. And really, it seemed like no one wanted to win the Haru Basho.
all 3 guys in the lead that
Yeah.
were not
Unbelievable.
mathematically eliminated yet.
Even
3 of them.
until the final moment of the final playoff match when Wakatakakage was just like, all right, no, yeah, I will win this. Okay, yeah. Let's pull this wild gambit at the end and win. But so how day 15 went down, we had Hoshoryu versus Kotonowaka. What's on the line if Kotonowaka wins this match, and if somehow Takayasu and Shinseki Wakatakakage were to both lose their matches, Kotonowaka would join them in a 3-way playoff.
But that wasn't going to happen,
wasn't
right?
gonna
Of course.
Of course that wouldn't happen.
We're not that lucky.
Takayasu and Shinseki Wakatakakage were the 2 best Rikishi throughout the entire Basho. Why would they lose now? And for Hoshoryu, what was on the line was his Kachikoshi. So if he wins this match, he will stay in the Sanyaku ranks. If he loses, he will drop down. But Hoshoryu was able to dispatch Kotonowaka, and with that, his hopes for a Yusho with a nice Shitate Dashinage for Hoshoryu. So Kachikoshi for Hoshoryu, no Yusho or Jun Yusho for Kotonowaka. Then we had Abi versus Takayasu. So what's on the line here now is if Takayasu wins this match and Wakatakakage lost to Shodai, then Takayasu would win the Yusho outright. But a win here would at least guarantee him a chance to win the Yusho, because it would at least guarantee him a playoff.
Right. So either way, Takayasu could have won or lost and still remained in it.
Yes. Right.
At the time, because Wakatakakage's match happened after.
Yep. But Abi's thrusts were too much for Takayasu. Sorry, Abi's thrust is giving me flashbacks to the punishment that Mac had, his sumo erotica. It's
Oh, good. Yet another thing I don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Would you like to punish me further with some of your other treat there?
We'll wait for a
Oh,
minute.
okay.
Let's get through day 15.
No,
And
punish
then-
me more.
Mac just wants to get it over with, throw up, and move on with the
I don't
episode.
like
Wouldn't
how
you want
quickly
to?
we brought up the erotica that Mac was just like, yes, punish me.
Punish me more.
But as I said, Abi's thrusting was far too much for Takayasu to handle, and Takayasu
I don't see why you could
lost
interpret
the
that
match
inappropriately.
No.
to a rear push out. And
Wait,
then
thrusting into a rear push out. Well done, Ryan.
the final, what could have been
Grow
the
up.
final match
No.
of the final day was Shodai versus Shinseki Wakatakakage. If Shinseki Wakatakakage won this match against Shodai, he would win the Yusho outright. If he lost, he would face Takayasu in a playoff. Shodai continued his very impressive Week 2 resurgence and overpowered Shinseki Wakatakakage. and forced him to lose. And so now we have a playoff with Wakatakakage and Takayasu at 12-3. So we have
Real quick, Shodai was like hustling, right?
Okay, he had
For
to
the
have been.
first week?
For the first week, yeah. He was doing like the pool shark. Oh no, you got me, double or nothing, right? Like, I don't know, whatever. We'll talk about him later.
Yes. So we have Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage versus Takayasu for the second time this Basho. It was a back-and-forth match that saw Takayasu force Wakatakakage to the Tawara. A final shove by Takayasu would send Wakatakakage out to the dojo, but Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage, oh no, he was not about to fall for that. He's able to grab a hold of, most importantly, Takayasu's arm, I think, to get some balance, pull himself back in, and he's also able to grab Takayasu's belt and throw him out of the dojo before Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage stepped out, and that made Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage a first-time Yusho winner, and Takayasu a multiple-time very close Yusho loser.
He was going down. Like, if you look at his posture,
absolutely.
Wakatakakage was going down. It was like, oh, Takayasu's about to clinch this. And then miraculously, it was like, how? How did you do that?
It was like a kind of move you kind of expect from Enho, and I think we've seen from
Yes.
Enho before. You're being pushed out, and then you just grab the arm of your opponent and somehow pull them out as well.
absolutely.
Wakatakakage was able to get a hold of Takayasu's
Sorry,
belt
who
as
was
well.
able to?
Shin
Shin
Sekiwake
Sekiwake.
Wakatakakage.
Yeah, but like he's twice the size of Enho, so like it was no, but
but no less athletic.
I guess now's as good a time as any to bring out my like multi-page thesis here
Oh, okay.
on the narrative that Takayasu chokes, because
How painful was
you
this
could
for
maybe you could maybe make the argument that he choked in the previous one where he had the 2-win lead or whatever. Yeah, that's fair. He absolutely, there's zero choking in this one, and I want to put that to bed for sure.
He
He-
did
not-
lose
not-
twice on day 15.
to the highest ranked guys that he had to face. Well, not literally, but like once he started facing the Mac is. I can hear some churning over there.
Well, you guys know how bad it is when I actually do have bad belching. So
Just make sure to burp right into the microphone
I'm trying
so
to,
that our listeners
I'm
can
trying
enjoy
to
it.
silence them.
But that, especially that final match, I don't think anybody could say that that the result had anything to do with Takayasu's mental game. And that's when people say choke, they mean that, like, you know, the pressure gets to him. He doesn't perform at his best. Takayasu absolutely crushed it. This whole Basho did as good as he possibly could have. The like multiple minute plus long matches where he's like grip fighting and leading and stuff like that, that is pure mental fortitude.
Oh, absolutely.
He's just not the best wrestler in the game right now.
No.
And that's fine. He can perform at his absolute peak and still not win. That's fine. Isn't that's like a Picard quote, right? Like it you can make no mistakes and still lose. That's not, how does that phrase go? Whatever. Our
I
nerdier
appreciate the
listeners
Star
will
Trek
know that one.
references, though.
But regardless, I think Takayasu did as good as he could have done. And his losses, none of his losses were like, you know, throwaways. None of them were because he made mistakes that were egregious or silly. He just wasn't the best guy, and that's fine. I just really dislike the idea that, you know, that his mental game, like, he's not really in it. You know, he can't handle pressure. That choking narrative. I think that, you know, we can move past that. Especially the playoff match.
You might. I won't.
Well, you would if I wasn't such a diehard Takayasu fan.
Correct.
Yeah,
What does
bingo.
it say on that towel?
Yeah,
on
the
the
towel
table?
we are using to place things on so that it makes slightly less noise on our table. It says Takayasu is what it says.
Indeed.
But no, regardless, I don't know. In particular, I want to jokingly call out Sumo follower on Twitter who really needs to 1v1 me IRL about Takayasu's mental game.
Quit handling my jar of jalapenos. What are you
They're
doing?
good. I like spicy things.
But
So do I.
I just wanted to get that out of the way because, like, you know, I'm still going to be a Takayasu fan, but this was probably the last hurrah, or the last best hurrah.
I mean, we kind of thought that last Basho when he started off with that 2-win lead after day 10. I don't remember if he was 10-0 or not, but he had that 2-win lead after day 10.
But this time, like, his I guess what I'm getting at, though, is his record was not... It wasn't that he, like, fell apart at the end. It was that he faced harder competition. So his losses on day 11 was Shinseki Wakatakakage.
There you go.
On day 14 was Shodai, who, as we have discussed, was hustling everyone the first
That-
day,
Seriously.
and is actually good.
That was the second ever appearance of Ozeki Shodai in like
Only the
9
second
or
week.
10 Basho.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
the second ever appearance of not Seki Waka Takakage. I apologize. Of Ozeki Shodai.
And then his third loss on day 15 was Abi, who he has an even history with, and I think we can all agree is not like a shameful loss or anything like that.
No.
Everyone he
Abi's
faced,
still living with the boys as far as I know,
Yeah.
so it's not shameful at all.
literally everyone he faced below Sekiwake, he beat. And I feel like it is a level of competition thing, not a choking or mental game issue. So, all right, I've made my point. Let me get down off of my soapbox, and we can move on.
I mean, that just sounds like a lot of copium to me, so.
I wish we weren't friends because then your opinion would be like legitimate
That's
and
like
like
your
not
opinion,
purely
man.
out of spite.
Yeah.
But because we are friends, of course I deserve every bit of it.
Yeah,
But, like-
absolutely. How dare you like a Rikshi that hasn't won a U show? At least your Rikshi
Isn't
gets
your
close.
favorite guy Hokuto Fuji?
Yeah, your guy gets close. The best I can hope for is like a 9-6 nowadays.
This is why I'm safe with Chiyomaru.
My
I
re-
love you, Chiyomaru, but you're never in danger of breaking my heart.
That's right.
Okay, so if I switch my favorite to somebody who does not have a legitimate chance at winning U shows, then I get less grief from my friends. Okay,
Yeah,
this actually makes sense.
Yeah,
Make your just make it to your second favorite,
I'll shift
Ishiura.
it, yeah.
Or be like Flyric, whose actual favorites are all in the past, and he has no
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah. Just don't have an active
Exactly. He
favorite.
doesn't
Yeah,
have an
exactly.
actual favorites.
My guess
Sorry,
would be
Yokozuna Flyric. Excuse
my
me.
guess would be Flaric's favorite is probably Hoshoryu right now, but we can't get his opinion. He's currently enrolled in an online course at the University of Phoenix for marine biology to further learn about like seals and whales and stuff. He's
So he
just
can fix his
committed.
analogy games.
He's just
Yeah.
committed to those analogies, and he's doing everything he can to make sure they are top notch.
What's he actually doing today?
He is volunteering at a Ultimate Frisbee.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I think it's in like Cedar Falls or Cedar Rapids.
Yeah,
or
somewhere in
Dubuque.
there.
Somewhere in the far reaches of Iowa.
In God's country.
Yes. Well, all of Iowa is God's country.
Yeah. Would you quit messing up the table, Mac?
No!
Drink some salt milk.
Yeah.
No! But, okay.
God, it's a punishment to watch you now that I know what that tastes like.
Right?
So
It's awful.
while Mac is getting up the courage, I'll tell an anecdote from my days.
Oh, God, there's a layer at the bottom. What is this?
I'll tell an anecdote.
Good. That means that I did put enough salt in there to saturate it.
Yes. From my time when I was in college and I worked at Brugger's Bagels in Ames, Iowa, when I went to Iowa State University. I was working with another guy named Ryan. He was one of my good friends at that Brugger's Bagels, and I don't know why, but you know, like the salt that goes on a pretzel is
Like the
that-
rock salt?
the
Big coarse.
the
Yeah.
big coarse salt.
Yeah.
So we had those grains of salt that we put on our salt bagels, which I never eat a salt bagel because like too much salt. I don't like it. Like my wife, all about it. She oversalts our popcorn all the time, makes it inedible for me. But for some reason,
She puts too much salt in the milk. Yeah.
she every time she makes my cereal, there's too much salt in the milk. But I don't remember what it was. It was like right at the end of my shift. But he's just like, "Hey, eat this spoonful of salt," and I'm always
You're a college
Yeah,
kid.
I
so-
I'm a
You're in
college student, and I'm
college.
also me. Like, if anybody challenges me to do anything, I'm like,
You know what I bet
Okay.
he said was, I bet you can't eat a whole spoonful of salt.
and obviously, yeah,
Probably.
You son of a bitch.
yeah. So I took a spoonful of that like rock salt, ate it, and just like automatically, it's like, oh, that's terrible. That's awful. I hate that. And then it was towards the end of my shift, so I'm heading home, and I'm just feeling worse and worse as I get home, and then it just turns into me speeding home, and it's a race to get to my toilet to just try to keep everything inside before I can get to the upstairs toilet in my it was when I lived in like the
Oh, it's a
University
uni, yeah.
Village.
Oh, okay, all
So I was roommates with Flyric at that time in college, and so I get home, I'm able to run upstairs and instantly just throw up. So I know what you're going through with the excess salt, Mac, and I know what's on the line here.
It's not mixing well in there.
So don't drink too much. Drink enough that it feels awful, but don't drink too much that you need to run into the bathroom.
We'd really
next door
like
and
it to
throw up.
peak right at the end of our episode, so that then you can,
no,
and then the rest of your bad day you can deal with on
the
your own.
spices are not mixing well, and the salts with the milk. It's not working.
Would anybody else like some more pickle whiskey?
Yes, I'll have some more.
I'm not giving you any pickle whiskey.
I want it.
Okay. Well,
So, as I eat these delicious jalapeno.
Have I introduced a
the
new snack
jalapenos
for you,
are actually
Ryan?
really good. Yeah.
That's really good, yeah.
Say, hey.
So-
And it leaves a nice little burn on your tongue.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage.
Talk to him more.
This is far and away his best performance in any Basho. Obviously, he's a first-time Yusho winner. I believe he might have gotten 11 wins once before in his career in the top division. He had 11-4 as a Maegashira 8. 12 wins is the best for him. I was kind of curious. All right, we have these Sekiwake that win Yusho. How often does that correlate? Not necessarily into an Ozeki run right now, but if you win a Yusho as a Sekiwake, how often does that correlate into future success in your career? So there have been 27 Rikishi that have won a Yusho as a Sekiwake, 31 total Sekiwake Yusho in history, but Terunofuji has done it twice, Mitakayumi's done it 3 times, and like back in the 30s or 40s, Asashio did it twice. But 27 total Rikishi have won a Yusho as a Sekiwake. 16 of those Rikishi have become a Yokozuna.
Wow.
Yikes.
A further 9 of those Rikishi have become an Ozeki, and a lot of them became Ozeki, the Basho, following this. Obviously,
Such as Mitakayumi.
yes,
And
exactly.
Shodai.
Yeah. Wakatakakage will not be Ozeki in the next Basho. I
He's only got 29 wins.
possibly 13 or more wins could get him Ozeki next time, but he's really hampered by the fact that he was Maegashira 1 in the previous Basho.
I would be shocked if he. So let's see. He's on a run of 21. So technically 12 would get him into the 33 wins over 3 Basho. But yeah, by being Maegashira 1 for that the first leg of this, I think that would certainly. I think that would count. I think it would count against him slightly. But like if he had a Basho exactly like this, where he beat a bunch of guys above him and showed like hardcore fighting spirit,
Absolutely.
I would be shocked if he got another 12 like this and didn't get it. But either way, it's still that's right where the line is. Right?
The
12, 13
closest
wins.
comparison that we've seen since we've been watching, I would say, is Tochinoshin. So Tochinoshin, he went 14-1 as a Maegashira 3, and he won a Yusho in that Basho, and then he followed that up with a 10-5 at Sekiwake and a 13-2 June Yusho at Sekiwake. So that was 37 wins over 3 Basho for Tochinoshin. And
Who
so
cares what the middle leg is?
Exactly.
Who cares what the rank? Yeah,
he
That's-
wasn't.
That's why I'm laughing at this
Yeah.
one. I'm like, really?
So that's it kind of takes a very special 3
Fair
runs
enough,
if you're going to include a Maegashira rank in that run. And the first one for Wakatakakage was just a 9-6. I don't think you can start an Ozeki run with a 9-6 record at Maegashira 1 and turn that into Ozeki run. Like if he gets like 14-1,
Oh, God,
15-0 next time, and they promote him, I'm not going to be upset and say that's wrong. But I think it's going to take more than that 12 next time to get it. Get 12 this time, get 12 next time. You got 24, probably 10 the next Basho would do it. But I think it's going to take an exceptional Basho next time for Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage to be promoted to Ozeki after the Natsu Basho.
One other factor that's been brought up in our discussions with other people that have more history than us is they like to see peaking at the third one.
Yes.
So if he does worse than he did in this Basho next time, then I would be shocked to see a promotion. Or even if he like equals it, it would be.
Which would be that 12.
I know that contradicts what I said earlier, but I think I've been swayed by your argument that I think he would need to exceed what he does now. But if he gets that 13th win, Yusho or otherwise, I would think that would probably do it.
Wouldn't be upset.
No.
Well, I mean, I think, he's a fairly popular guy on our podcast. I feel like I can say that confidently.
Yeah.
Nobody would be upset if
No.
it was an edge case, but they still gave it to him. But yeah, I think
He's got to impress at least a couple more.
I guarantee this will be a substantial section of our preview for the next Basho. But yeah, I think 12-13 is kind of or maybe 12.5 is the over under on our expectation or on my expectation.
Yeah. So I mentioned 27 Rikshi have won a Yusho as a Sekiwake, and then I said 16 became Yokozuna. Did I say something wrong?
No, I read ahead to what you're saying. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So 27 Rikshi have won a Yusho as Sekiwake. 16 became Yokozuna. 9 became Ozeki. You do the math, that's only 25 Rikshi. So there's 2 more, and those are Hasegawa and Tamawashi, who never rose above the rank of Sekiwake. So Tamawashi, I'll kind of give him a little bit of leeway. He was like 34 years old when he won his Yusho. That was the peak of his career. He wasn't gonna push it any further than that. He's very lucky that he got that in the first place. Hasegawa was like 28 years old. I think Wakatakakage, Shinsekiwake Wakatakakage, is currently 27. He'll turn 28 before the next Hatsu Basho.
Sure.
So he's still. I mean, 27 is not super young, but it's not old.
No, that's kind of like right at the peak or right at the beginning of the peak. Generally,
yeah.
What era was Hasegawa?
40s.
Ah, okay. Well, I guess that just helps mathematically prove what a silly outlier Tamawashi was.
Well, and that's what I was trying to think. When was Tamawashi's Yusho?
It was
2-3 years ago?
January of 2019.
Okay.
When
was this before or after his Kotonages of Death? Because
that was like right in the midst of Kotonawaka.
Okay, so we've kind of figured this out then. He has to do more Kotonages of Death to win.
Yeah.
No, mid 2019 was when he hurt Takayasu and that's when I decided he was my blood rival for us.
But it wasn't just Takayasu. He hurt like 3 or 4
No, but
others.
He got Tochinoshi. He cost 2 Ozeki there, right? I feel like.
Yeah. But the Takayasu one, at least for me, of course, as the number one Takayasu fan in probably the world.
I would assume
I
the
would
world.
give it to you.
I mean,
he's Leslie Sumo Kaboom.
Well,
I think
another
if
one to-
you were to meet Takayasu and Leslie were to meet Takayasu, I think Leslie would go a lot further in her interactions with Takayasu if given the opportunity than you would.
You make a good point.
Yeah.
I apologize if it's Lori, but I'm pretty sure it's Leslie.
You can't have 2 sisters with the same first letter that we haven't met in person enough times to really get it.
But who are both just so delightful.
They're good. Shut up. Try to get me with the spicy punishment. It's not going to work.
I literally have 3 habaneros in
I was about to
in
say,
my
like,
cupboard
now
right
wait a
now.
minute.
Watch
here.
me eat them. Literally, go get one right now.
What is wrong
Go
with
get
you?
one at the break. I will
What
eat
is
one.
wrong with you?
I like spicy.
Oh, my God.
All right. Where were we?
I don't have any idea.
All right. So, Jake, after the performance of Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage, do you think he will join the group of Rikshi that won a Yusho to get promoted to Ozeki? And do you think he can go even further and join the group of Rikshi to be promoted to Yokozuna? And Mac took another sip of the salt milk, which I cannot dissuade people enough from not doing at home.
I need a jalapeno.
You know it's bad when he goes to the spicy pickled jalapenos to wash down the
milk.
taste of salt milk.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, everybody. These are the lengths we have to go to punish Mac on this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying this.
God, he's shoveling those jalapenos in.
Oh.
I envy him. They're so good.
They're really good.
They are. They are spicy. I will give him that. They are
Yeah.
spicy.
I told you I got the hot one.
Yes. All right, we're losing Mac.
What
Jake,
the hell was the question?
will Shin Sekiwake Wakatakakage become an Ozeki in your eyes?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, pre-Basho, we were talking about Abi and Hoshoryu as our likely next Ozeki.
Mm-hmm.
Abi was clearly iffy this time around.
8-7, Kachikoshi, first time a Sekiwake.
Right. And Hoshoryu, again, he did the sumo. He did it. He got the 8.
8-7. First time broke the Komosubi curse.
I was so excited for that. Yay!
Yeah, as was I.
But Wakatakakage, this Basho, obviously blew everybody out of the water. I didn't see anything I guess for all 3 of them, I didn't see anything dramatically different or new or better or worse than their previous performances. Clearly, their records were fairly different. But, in how they looked, they were pretty much what we know of them, right? Of the 3 of them.
Yeah.
I think this opened my eyes that I do think Wakatakakage should be in that Shinseki Wakatakakage should be in the discussion with those 2 as an equal, at least as an equal for of those 3. I think that's pretty clearly where our next Ozeki's coming from.
And so, Mac, I ask you, like Jake said, we now have 3 contenders for the next Ozeki: Abi, Hoshoryu, and Shinseki Wakatakakage. Does Shinseki Wakatakakage now jump to the top of the list for you for who we think will be the next Ozeki?
I think based off this performance,
We went too hard too early.
I did. I think based off of this performance, we definitely can't rule him out as being the number 1 contender right now, but Abi and Hoshoryu still represent a really good contender for him to go. Again, recency bias really plays a factor in this one because he had a breakout performance. Shinseki Wakatakakage did absolutely phenomenal.
Real
for his
quick, I want to
debut.
interrupt you. How lucky is it that this is the one that Flyric couldn't record? Because if we had Flyric trying to say Shinseki Wakatakakage, it would be an abject disaster.
Especially if he had to take a shot of whiskey at the
Yes.
beginning of the episode.
That we need to make him. It won't be true in the next Basho. He will no longer be Shinseki Wakatakakage. He'll just be Seki Wakatakakage.
Be the wrestler formerly known as Shinseki Wakatakage.
That's right.
Indeed.
We need to get Flyric. Somebody remind us to get Flyric to say that.
That's on you. That's on you, guys.
It'll entertain you as much as it will us. You've listened to this podcast. You know Flyric can't speak English. It's almost like it's not his first language, but it is.
It actually is.
It's his only language.
But again, recency bias playing a factor. I think Shinseki Wakatakakage definitely is a front runner, but I'm not willing to count out Abi or Hoshoryu at this point. I mean, Hoshoryu not only has the pedigree, but he broke the curse, which is massive. Shinseki Wakatakakage didn't do that with his debut in the Joy. I see good things with Hoshoryu and Abi. With those thrusts, they still can't come up with a good way to block him. All the other times that he lost, he either got off balance or his thrusts were too high and they got up underneath him. But when he lands those thrusts, they are unbelievably powerful and you cannot fight against them. So, again, recency bias playing a factor. Shinseki Wakatakakage, fantastic, but ooh.
Yeah. And as far as like the immediate situation, Hoshoryu and Abi both getting 8 and 7, you could maybe call that their first of their Ozeki run if they have spectacular next 2 Bashos. I know that's
Yes.
a big ask, but at best this is the first of their Ozeki run, whereas Wakatakakage could very much be on the second leg of his Ozeki run.
Correct.
Yeah, so I wanted to save this analogy for later in the podcast when we're talking about Abi.
But I made too good of a point that you had to bring it up
that's
now, right?
Bravo, bravo.
So you talked about this 8 and 7 for Abi could be the start of an Ozeki run. This is really reminding me. Abi's performance is really reminding me of 2020 Shodai. So he had those back-to-back 11 or more win Basho for Shodai back in 2020, and then he made it up to the rank of Sekiwake. What did he get his first Basho as a Sekiwake? He got an 8 and 7 record. He followed that up. All right, I've been Sekiwake. I feel I know these people that I'm facing a lot better now. Next Basho, 11 and 4. Basho after that, 13 and 2 Yusho. Turned that 8 and 7 as his first Basho as Sekiwake. Followed that up with 2 great Basho. He got that Ozeki promotion. Do I necessarily think Abi is going to be able to repeat that performance? No, but it is kind of eerily similar to what Shodai did back in 2020 right now.
It's very much, especially because this was only 2 years ago that we're talking about, it's very possible. And even if they don't completely blow everyone out of the water, Hoshoryu and Abi, I mean, 11 wins was the second leg for Shodai.
Mm-hmm.
That's still pretty good.
Yep.
That's still very
These-
much like you're in the running. You still count. So,
All right, so I apologize, Jake.
Oh, this is going to hurt. Oh, no.
why are we skipping ahead of the Junyusho winner to the Ozeki? Is that what
We're
going
going to talk a little bit more about our Junyusho winner, Takayasu.
I already got the like really heartfelt, angry part out of me, so I'm good.
Let me just do the counterpoint to your point that Takayasu does not
Go
choke.
ahead. Feel free to be wrong.
So this, at the very least, this is another heartbreaking Basho for Takayasu. Whether you call it a choke or not, obviously
Agreed.
heartbreaking.
Yep.
So in Kyushu of 2018, he was tied with Takakeisho for the lead on the final day. If he had won on the final day versus Mitakeyumi, he would have been able to force a playoff. Unfortunately, he lost that match to Mitakeyumi, and Takakeisho was able to vanquish his foe and win the Yusho. That was Takakeisho's first Yusho, that
I cut
Basho.
off my thumb and I reached into the jalapeno juice.
Oh no!
Ow!
Why would you do that?
didn't know.
You didn't think about it.
So Jake or Mac, I don't remember who I was talking to yesterday, and it might have been Flyric. We were all at my house yesterday for a very delayed Christmas amongst our group of friends. But
this is when we were out on our walk. It was me and Flair.
Yeah, it was
we
you
were
and
talking.
Flair.
Yeah. So I was saying that I was referencing this Basho saying Takayasu had a chance to beat Nishikigi, and if he beat Nishikigi, he would have been able to force a playoff. I was obviously wrong. It was Takayumi. It was Takakeisho that fought Nishikigi on the final day. Takakeisho obviously beat Nishikigi
as
and
one does.
secured the
yes.
Yusho. Yeah. And then the one that we keep referencing, Haru 2021. Takayasu had the lead, a 2-win lead going into day 10. I did look that back up. Haru of 2021.
Yeah, I remember. I actually have a note from Haru 2021 Jake as a fan who said, "Wow, there is no way Takayasu could get closer to a Yusho and still not get it."
Oh, how you were wrong.
Oh, young 2021 Jake, how
Yes.
you didn't know.
But yeah, Takayasu obviously had that 2-win lead. Lost 4 of his final 5.
That one?
to blow that one.
Definitely, you could have much more of a narrative about choking for that one than for this last one.
And then, like we said, this Basho, Haru 2022, he lost 2 matches on the final day. Just saying, when the Yusho is on the line,
Oh, like when he's
Takayasu-
facing the hardest opponents of the tournament?
if he's still the guy that's
What a coincidence.
he's still the guy that's been performing the best throughout the tournament. I mean, we just look at this tournament. Takayasu was able to beat 2 Ozeki, Takayumi and Takakeisho. On the final 2 days, he goes up against who you would think would be the weakest of the Ozeki, Shodai, loses, goes down to face an Abi, who is 7-7, having a rough performance himself, and loses that match to Abi. When the Yusho is on the line, Takayasu does not win. A lot of people would call that a choke. And particularly at Sumo Follower would call him Chokayasu.
So when the Falcons were beating the Patriots,
They choked.
they choked hard. They made mistakes. They performed dramatically less than they had performed earlier in the game. That was a choke. That was throwing away the game by underperforming the standard you had already set for yourself. That's why I think Takayasu did really good, because he was better than most of the guys he fought until he got to the end when he faced the harder guys.
Do you
I think that's
remember there was one Basho where Takayasu was in a playoff for the Yusho, and he had his opponent Shinseki Wakatakakage his back to the Tawara, and all he needed to do was just give him that one
This is a long
final
ways
shove.
back, but I think I remember which one you mean.
Just give him
Just a shove.
one final shove. All he needed to do was not have his arm grabbed by the guy who was falling out of the dohyo to secure his win.
His
So-
weight was going
but he
down.
couldn't do it.
Here's why that's nonsense.
Go on.
Because the guy that pulled off that move, that squirrely, sneaky move, was the guy who won the whole thing, proving he was the best in this last 2-week period. I think that getting outplayed doesn't mean that you... I know. We're all... this is all semantics.
Yes.
But I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to defend my boy, saying that it's not a weakness of Takayasu that he is not the absolute best in the entire game right now. Yes. Just saying.
And I'm just saying, there's far too many
And if
times...
I ever meet Sumo Follower in person, we're going to have words.
And I'm just saying, there's a lot of different coincidences that are lining up for Takayasu to make it really seem like he kind of chokes under the pressure a little bit. I'm not taking any pleasure from this, Jake, except for all of the pleasure that I'm taking from this.
Nobody out there believes that.
Well, like I told you earlier, the recording actually can detect when you lie and stop. So we better say goodbye for the day.
But
if you enjoyed this podcast,
I do want to follow up, ask a real question. So Takayasu did perform spectacularly this Basho. Him and Wakatakakage, Shinseki Wakatakakage.
And that's the end of the question, right?
were... I'm not going to say head and shoulders above everybody else, but kind of close. They were the clear 2 top people this Basho.
Maybe head and traps.
Yes, head and
especially in
traps.
Wakatakakage's case.
So Takayasu had that Basho off where he was held out due to COVID in his stable, allowed him to get his body healthy for the first time in about a year. So now that Takayasu looks like he's healthy, obviously performed very well this Basho, do you think he's going to be able to get back into the Sanyaku ranks again? Not make an Ozeki run. He's 32 years old. The odds of that are very low, and his injury history would indicate He's probably going to get injured sooner rather than later. But do you think he can make another like Komusubi Sekiwake push? Maybe make us believe, hey, is he going to go on another Ozeki run?
Oh God, yes, I'll immediately believe. Yeah. I mean, like in a heartbeat, he'll win. He'll win on day one.
Yes, but you have to convince Ryan.
I don't think that Ozeki run is in the cards. I do think that it's very possible for him to get a Sekiwake or Komusubi again. We're getting our punishment ready for Mac. But the what is that one? The wasabi sauce?
Yeah.
So I think he would only need like an 8-7 or a 9-6 next Basho from where he's at to potentially be in the running for a Komusubi slot. Because I think he'll probably be in like the top 3 Maegashira.
Once again, I haven't really looked at the Bansuke much,
he's
but
at
like
M7.
1 or 2.
He's at 7 now,
Yeah,
so he's going to be up there.
Him and Kotonowaka are going to be like Maegashira 1 and 2 in that range.
He's going to be in the range where not the dogs are driving me nuts. We're going to have to take a break here in a minute, but yeah, I think he'll absolutely be in a position where he can get just an 8 or a 9 win Basho and move up to Komusubi again. Yep. Very possible. We've seen guys like Okinoumi do it in the last year or two. Like, I think it's very much in the cards. I don't think that with his health, with his age, he's likely to go on an Ozeki run, but I do think that it's possible he will. Have a couple good performances, stay near the top for another year, maybe 2, but I don't know. I'm not super optimistic on that, but I did see a comment, I think it was on Twitter, where somebody was like, maybe if he doesn't do so great at M1 or M2 or M3 next time, and he drops down to where he is again now, maybe, he could make another run at a U show. I don't know.
That's some Flyric levels of gamesmanship right there.
That's beyond.
Regardless. Yeah, I think he'll probably have another Komusubi tournament at some point.
All right. So
what is this tasty concoction?
That is wasabi sauce, and I'm going to request that you. So it's a decent spoonful for you. I'm going to request don't swallow it immediately. Let it sit on the tongue. Give it like 1 or 2 seconds, and then you may be able to swallow. Right. So Mac, if you would, the wasabi sauce, please.
I gotta put it in my dominant hand at least.
Yeah, if it was his left hand, maybe he'd like put it in his eye, or I don't know what he was getting at there. Like, no,
there
I
it
can't
is.
aim.
Yeah, it burns pretty nice.
Yama's actually looking at me right now.
He's poker face. He poker faced that pretty damn well. I know that would not have felt good.
He's got a great poker face. I don't think he's got a great poker stomach.
Some more?
Absolutely.
Oh,
if you're gonna ask for it.
We do kind of have to speed up a little bit here. We've already been going like 45 minutes or so.
Hey, this is good conversation, my friend.
As long as we're getting Mac to eat more crap.
Put a jalapeno on it.
All right.
What is wrong with you?
We're cocktailing
You don't have the
up.
time or the money.
Yeah,
While
okay.
we're here, Daddy wants a jalapeno.
Mac's like, ooh, punish me more.
You've read my erotica. You know what it's like.
Give me that spoon. You're done. I will say that wasabi is very tasty, but it does
Potent.
burn the nostrils quite a bit. So I commemorate Mac on his amazing poker face right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's talk about the rest of our Ozeki a little bit more right now. We'll start with Takayumi, our Shin Ozeki. He was the best performing Ozeki this Basho, and he actually has 3 straight Basho with double-digit wins for the first time in his entire career. So, Mac, based on what we've seen from Takayumi the past 3 Basho, is double-digit wins the new expectation for Takayumi now that he has made that leap up to Ozeki?
No.
Fair.
All right.
And I don't blame you for not mincing your words. I'm sure your mouth is in a lot of pain right now, and it's feeling a lot of emotions.
What are you talking about? I can't really feel my tongue.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
No.
Keep the speaking to a minimum.
No, the reason why I'm saying that is I don't have faith in Takayumi, and that's my own personal bias with that. We've seen historically all of his different runs, all of his different spurts, and I know that second week Takayumi is there. It's coming. I know it's going to rear its ugly head.
Second half of 2022, Takayumi, here we come.
You can't rule it out, and that's what's so bad is I've been burned by Takayumi hopes so much. So is it a personal issue with me? Yes, but I just can't. I want to hold him to that level, but I can't get behind him.
We keep talking about Takayumi as potentially choking in the second week. But no, he doesn't get that narrative as bad as Takayasu.
He's won 3 U show.
Damn it.
He
that's a really
is
good...
an Ozeki. Well, Takayasu was an Ozeki.
Yeah.
Importantly,
I'm just
Was.
trying.
Was.
I'm just trying to
Past.
like.
You're
Save a
working on
tiny
the
bit of
copium.
pride.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I get it. If my favorite Rikishi were ever in a position to blow a Yusho lead, I would expect nothing less from you. I think the best I've
Strategic
got.
favorite pick there.
I think
Good
the
job.
best I've gotten from Hokuto Fuji is an 11-4 June Yusho.
But
think
you
so.
at least love his psych-ups for every match.
I do.
He just punishes his body.
He still goes out there and does his thing, and I love him for it. Anything more on Mitake Yumi? I mean, he kind of just went out and did his thing this Basho. He was in the Yusho race for a little while, but when he started getting matched up with the other Ozeki, Takayasu, Kotonowaka, Wakatakakage, Shinsekiwake, Wakatakakage, he started dropping a few matches and fell out of the Yusho race at the end there.
Yeah, I guess for me, I think that when Mitake Yumi is on, he absolutely looks like a Yokozuna. You know, he's got like
When he's on, yeah.
There were a couple of matches where it just seemed like he was completely overpowered
totally
and taken out.
Yeah, which was weird. What was it? Kotonowaka just kind of like gently walked him out of the ring like it was no big deal.
And that's
And
why I can't-
Takayasu as well.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I can't get behind him. It's like,
But-
it's not. It's
And
not there
Hokuto
yet.
Fuji.
That's okay. That guy will never win anything.
Yeah.
But anyways, no. When he's on, he legit like has that like stoic, steady, in control Yokozuna look to him, and it's weird when like one day he just decides not to show up.
Let's talk.
I'm sorry, but your dog is just absolutely
Oh
hilarious.
God, they're just
I just want to hold her.
Yeah, so people probably can't hear what we're hearing, which is dogs gently scratching at the door that we are currently
That's
in.
probably coming through a little.
And
just
one of
want
them,
love.
I don't know which one's out there whining, but it's very pathetic and it makes my heart sad.
I just want to hold one.
We
of
just
them.
got to rush through the rest of this, get to our break so that we can. Anyways, no, we do actually kind of need to move on. We've been stalling quite a bit today.
What do
Defending,
you got
know,
going on for the rest of the day?
I mean, I don't have the energy to defend Takayasu for like 2 hours, maybe 90 minutes, but
So let's talk about Shodai, who he had that 1-5 start. It's kind of what we were expecting for him. It's like we knew he had the issues with COVID. He was running out of breath just facing Makushita Rikishi. He said he had the phlegm. Mac is just having the jalapenos and wasabi come back on him for what I can only imagine are horrendous burps.
I am a fire-breathing dragon right now. It's bad.
But then we got to day 7 of the tournament and a brand new Shodai. Well, not a brand new. We dusted off Ozeki run Shodai. And he finished the Basho with an 8-1 record in the final 9 days, showing us glimpses that won him the Yusho and made him an Ozeki in the first place.
This is the true reason that Flyric has gone back to university. He's trying to find the correct term because Shark doesn't quite do this one justice. It played almost like a possum. It played dead. You thought, oh, he's going down. There's no way he's going to retain it, and then the possum wakes up. It's like he needs to find a sea creature that plays possum, and that is why Yokozuna Flyric is not here.
Yeah, he's going to SeaWorld to see which creatures act most like a possum.
Indeed.
So his analogy game can be on point.
I feel like a quick Googling would probably get a good answer there, but
you know,
whatever. He's
You
doing
know
it
how
right.
in-depth Flyric gets when he's on his deep dives.
I think that Shodai, like I joked before, was hustling us. I don't legitimately think that, but I don't know. It's very interesting that something clearly changed because it wasn't like I don't think like the quality of his sumo in the second week was necessarily like above and beyond anything he'd done before.
We've seen it, yeah.
It was just weird that he was such a zombie in the beginning and then decided that he was gonna like do his best again. It was still kind of like wacky, like sloppy matches and stuff here and there, but it was good.
He's still
pretty good.
I would say his wins 2 through 7, that was dominant wins. That wasn't like we say like Shodai wins, like, oh, I just kind of found a way in the midst of this match to throw you to the ground.
Tuara ballet, pure luck.
I would say matches 2 through 7 and probably win number 9 against Shinseki Wakatakakage on day 15 were all
That was good.
great dominating wins by Shodai. I think the only iffy one would have been day 14 maybe, or was that when he beat Takakeisho, which that was just a good match.
Yeah,
by
that was a
Shodai.
good
I mean,
So
you can.
it wasn't like typical. I know the Tachi blog refers to it as like clown sumo. It wasn't that. It was beyond that for Shodai.
But it wasn't. It certainly wasn't to the level of when Mitake Yumi was doing good wins. You know, it wasn't like calm and composed.
There was a little bit of franticness to it.
Yeah,
I'll agree to that.
I
Frantic
guess
energy.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, and I think that's not necessarily bad.
Not bad.
That's when he
No, not
performs
bad.
It worked.
yeah. Nobody can like frantically slap their way around a match on his level generally. So I don't know. I do think that like there was some element to that, but it was just so weird that it just started working for him out of nowhere, right?
It was just the abruptness of
Yeah.
everything, and that's why I compared it to a possum. It's like, oh, he's playing dead. Oh, there's nothing, and then it whips around and just starts snarling. Like, wait a minute, hold on, what was this?
He turned from a possum into like a goat or a flying squirrel. I'm not good with animals, but
So I did find the connection to a sea creature for Flyric.
What'd you find?
Turns out there is such thing as a water possum. No. It's a semi-aquatic creature that is found in and near freshwater streams and lakes from Mexico through South and Central America.
Huh.
so it's just a possum that likes to swim.
It's like it's like an otter. Okay, it's like an otter then.
Whatever. Well, technically, I think otters are placental, but possums are marsupials.
Oh, they are marsupials.
Yes.
Little did you know. Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. The true facts.
All right, let's talk about Takakeisho. He also secured his Kachikoshi. So coming into this Basho, we had Shodai and Takakeisho, both Kadoban needing a winning record to remain at the Ozeki rank. Both were able to do it. Takakeisho got his Kachikoshi on day 11, so he cleared that fairly quickly. He was 8-3 as of day 11, and then he went on to lose his final 4 matches. This is the second straight time that Takakeisho has returned from an injury, got his Kachikoshi, and then
just effed off and like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, promptly decided, I don't need to do any more sumo. I'm not going to win this Yusho. Why try? And so he just lost all of his remaining matches. And
How does that make you feel?
I'm beginning to lose a little bit of faith in Takakeisho that he can be a consistent double-digit winning Rikishi, and it's probably too late that thought is coming. Like we've mentioned, he's performed in 2 straight Basho, and then he has to leave for an injury. That's happened 4 straight times. Now, when he's been performing, he can get those like 12-win Jun Yusho, where he can pull out 13-win Yusho. But the past 2 times that he's come back from injury, he's not coming back as strongly as he was in the past. The past 2 times, he's gotten 8 and 7s instead of like 10+ wins, which he did like the 3 previous times that he had come back from injury. And so I'm starting to wonder if these injuries are starting to take a toll on Takakeisho. Mac, why do you keep drinking the salt milk? I mean, do it, obviously, but why?
Because I have to. Yokozuna Flyric
think
isn't here.
For Takakeisho, we've referenced in the past that Jesus, Mac. Oh, that's such a big sip. It's
Number 4
for Takakeisho.
And
Like
5.
the problem is that not problem. I think the thing. Oh, geez, so unprofessional, Mac. The thing to keep in mind. No, I'm not going to try. I didn't lose. The thing
Try keeping your composure.
I'm not. No, I will not. The thing with Takakeisho to remember, though, is that he definitely seems to have this more modern Western game theory kind of mindset. Like, if he doesn't need to get more than 8, he's not going to hurt himself to do so. And yeah, I guarantee there is some level of him based on his history, based on what we know, that like, yeah, he wasn't trying as hard. Once he got his 8, he's like, okay, that's fine. If he's not in the Yusho race, does it matter that much? So like, and I'm not saying I believe one way or the other on how much he should be trying, but I think that's the way to analyze his effort level at the end of the tournament.
No, and I think that makes sense. And as an Ozeki, you're kind of granted the ability to make that choice. Like, okay, I've got my 8 wins, but I'm already like 2 or 3 back in the Yusho race.
Whatever.
There's no benefit for me of getting 10 wins versus 11 wins. So yeah, I'm just not going to try that hard. I'm not going to injure myself. Don't know that that's what he's doing, but I wouldn't blame him if that is what he's doing.
Why don't we take a quick puppy break?
We'll take a
We're
quick
gonna
break
take our
and
break
appease
early
some
here.
puppies.
Yeah, they are just going insane out there.
Yeah. If you enjoy the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
You can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Support the show on Patreon and check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com.
If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com or give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO.
Also, watch us on YouTube. All right, the dogs have been temporarily appeased, so we'll see how long we can go without them scratching at the door a little bit longer.
I have to do a formal retraction, and it is from the bottom of my heart that I must apologize to Matt Jim of Sumo Punks. 'Twas your cat, not the fantastic Ben Marquez, who we did hang out with. But no, it was Matt Jim. It is your cat whom I must apologize to. And
you need to apologize to the cat.
And I do need to
Not to
apologize
Matt.
to a cat. If you please send me your cat's name, I will do a formal apology on the next episode.
But
But
drink another glass of salt milk.
as I complete my penance to you, Mr. Matt of Sumo Punks, this is pickle whiskey with some jalapeno juice. So please forgive me.
You topped it off even with.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where'd the red pepper flakes go?
Oh yes.
Throw some red pepper flakes in
right,
that
do it.
bad boy.
In the meantime, we've talked about Abi and Hoshoryu plenty.
I hate you so much.
You just went hog on that, didn't you?
Look at it.
Oh God, it's like
Over
stew.
Ryan's,
Don't
over
get it off of no.
my hands are shaking so bad.
I don't blame you. So Mac is putting on a very brave face right now. As soon as we went to break, he was just like, "Oh my God." And he was having some troubles.
He let out a burp that would be.
How you doing, Mac?
I don't think it's down yet.
It's not. We got him.
Ooh. I have some more.
No,
No, you may not.
we're getting to him. We're wearing him down.
Maybe a nice drink of refreshing milk
Stop.
will help.
Now, I feel bad.
I don't feel bad for Mac. I feel bad for our listeners that are
Oh.
like an hour
Oh.
deep into this and we're not out of Sanyaku.
Did somebody put salt in there? That is quite salty.
I feel bad for Carolyn when Matt gets home
Yes.
after this.
That's really,
who I feel
you will
bad
have to
for.
answer to my wife.
She'll get it. She'll know why.
She knows.
You deserved it.
She knows.
There's just gonna be all sorts of gases and things coming out of you, and it's gonna be a rough day.
Yeah.
You know what's really bad? The red pepper flakes are stuck in my teeth.
Oh, that's the bad part.
That's the bad part. They hurt.
God damn. Who's our next sumo wrestler to talk?
I think we've already talked about Abi and Hoshoryu enough. They both were able to secure their Kachikoshi on day 15. I think
We're all optimistic about.
we're
both
still
of their
all
futures.
optimistic
totally.
about both of them.
Yeah.
This isn't really derailing any long-term hopes we had for these guys.
Agreed.
Takanosho was also a Sanyaku Rikishi this Basho, finished with the 4-11 record. Yeah.
Hey, good try, buddy.
He'll
Good
be
try.
replaced by Daisho in the next Basho. That is something on the Bonsuke I do know for sure.
Yeah.
I do want to spend a little bit more time on the other Rikishi that was in Yusho contention going into day 15, and that is Maegashira 6 Kotonowaka. Mac, my friend.
Buddy.
Oh man.
Kotonowaka won 11 matches for the second straight Basho, joining Abi, Shodai, and Takakeisho as active Rikishi that have accomplished this feat. What?
Did you look very hard? I found 3 more in a second.
Terunofuji, Takayasu, and Mitake Yumi all did that?
11 matches in 2 straight Bashos? Yeah.
As a Maegashira.
Well, maybe you should have wrote that in there.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. Move on then.
Technicalities.
I looked for a second. I found 3 more, and I'm like, there's clearly something I'm missing.
Yeah,
I'm just going to quit writing down names.
11 plus wins as a Maegashira was
Okay.
the qualifier in my head.
In your head. Okay.
Yes.
I'm good. Move on.
You understand, I have a daughter, and I was trying to...
Oh, my God.
she is cute.
We
though.
know.
yeah.
She's adorable.
So, with Kotonowaka's recent performances, this is his third 11-plus win tournament in 5 or 6. And with him getting these back-to-back ones, doing it at Maegashira 6, and not really facing a Maegashira 6 schedule, because I didn't mention it before, but I got to give the matchmakers a little bit of credit in this Basho. I think they did a great job of moving up Takayasu and Kotonowaka to face higher-ranked guys a lot earlier than we thought they were going
Yeah.
to, and what they had done in previous matches. Because Takayasu started facing Sanyaku Rikishi day 10, and he fought people
with Kotonowaka.
Sekiwake and above from day 11 on. Kotonowaka started facing Sekiwake and above from day 11 on.
And day 10 was Daisho, who's Maegashira 1. So,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
up there.
I was just about to point that out. It's wasn't his first one Hoshoryu? In the upper level?
Takayasu.
Yeah, Takayasu's
fought
first one was
Hoshoryu
Hoshoryu.
on
That's what I
day
thought.
10, and then he fought the 2
Yeah.
Sekiwake
Right,
and 3
right.
Ozeki in the following 5 days.
And we often see like a Maegashira who's in the running will get a couple Sanyaku matches, but starting like day 13 or
Right,
something.
yeah, when it's too late.
When yeah, exactly.
And what they were able to do this time is by recognizing, okay, Takayasu, Kotonowaka, these guys are competing. Let's get them in there early. And then they're able to preserve the Ozeki versus Ozeki match at the end of the tournament as well, instead of saying, shit, it's day 14, Kotonowaka's tied
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
lead.
yeah.
We better have him face somebody good. So now we got to see, as useless as it was, we still got to see Takayumi versus Takakeisho.
Yeah.
And Takakeisho versus Shodai this Basho.
Yeah, we got all
We did not get Shodai versus Takayumi.
Oh, we
But-
didn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
But Shodai's match against Wakatakakage, Shinseki Wakatakakage, excuse
Yes.
me, was so much more impactful than I was expecting. I thought, nah, we got this,
Yeah.
no word. And then Shodai played the spoiler.
I thought it was really great that they put that match last.
Yes.
Yes, because I
Yes.
think Takayumi versus
Takakeisho.
Takakeisho could have been. Actually, no. Shodai was the highest ranked Ozeki, so it makes sense for him having the last match on the last
okay.
day. I don't know how it works because they usually rotate. Like day 1, the highest ranked
Yeah.
Ozeki will have the last Ozeki match, and then the second highest ranked Ozeki will have the highest ranked Ozeki match on day 2, and they kind of rotate through that.
Sure.
So I think if it's a 3-day schedule, technically Takayumi should have been in the final match in this 3-day rotating cycle for the Ozeki. It's very hard to podcast
can
as
smell
Mac
the-
is
Like the
decomposing on my side.
I've embraced my namesake of Drake. I am
The-
breathing fire over here.
the air drifting this way is a appalling smell.
I feel like Smaug at this point. Like,
it is both spicy and milky.
Yeah. But
Anyways, though, it was still cool. Like, you know, you would kind of expect like the highest ranked guy to have the final match, and if possible, of course, they want Yokozuna versus Yokozuna on day 15. But rather than having the 2 Ozeki that were already eliminated, they put Ozeki versus
Sekiwake.
Sekiwake in the
Shin
Yusho race.
Sekiwake.
Wakatakakage. Yes, I have heard that. It
Yeah.
was his first tournament as
Oh, it was?
Sekiwake?
Yes.
no.
Yeah. But regardless, it was cool. It was it played into their second priority of matchmaking, which is drama.
I think the final 5 days, just having Takayasu, Kotonowaka, Wakatakakage just filtering through all of their matches with each other and with the Ozeki
Yeah.
made days 11 through 15 all feel like each of those days had at least 3 super important matches.
Bingo.
And it just really helped out the entire quality of this Basho. Instead of
Totally.
just sinking all of those matches into days 13, 14, 15. We got 2 extra days of it. All of those matches were great. All of them were important. All of those rikshi stayed relevant throughout the entire time. And I think just kudos to the matchmakers. If we have Maegashira that are contending for the Yusho in the future, this is how they need to be
Test
treated.
them earlier.
And it worked out because we got a playoff. How
Exactly.
fucking amazing is that?
Yeah, everybody that you wanted to face each other got to face each other.
Yes.
And so just kudos to the
I don't know.
matchmaking committee
I didn't
this time.
see Shodai Takayumi, so
Nah.
Never, I rescind my kudos. But
kudos removed.
going back to Kotonowaka, and I was mentioning the 3 other rikshi that have had 2 straight 11-plus win Bashos as Maegashira, Abi, Shodai, and Takakeisho. For Kotonowaka, I really feel like it's only a matter of time before he joins those other 3, as Mac is eating more jalapenos. I think it's only a matter of time before Kotonowaka joins those other 3 at the top of the Bansuke.
Yeah.
The sumo he was doing this Basho was superb. As we mentioned, he fought high-quality opponents on the final 5 days. He beat 2 Ozeki in Shodai and Takayumi. So just great performance all around by Kotonowaka. He's going to be firmly in the Joy in the next Basho, so we'll really get to see how he contends at the top of the Bansuke, facing all of the top guys, but I have high hopes for him going forward.
Mac, I know you have mentioned him as like one of like the sumo princes. Like this,
I mentioned that.
I was
We have
addressing this to
also-
Mac, so
we,
you
we,
can.
we've also talked.
well,
and
regardless,
used
what is his heritage or what's his claim to that? Does he have like a father or grandfather or something like that was a successful wrestler?
I think Yokozuna history in his blood, possibly.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll look it up real quick. But yeah, the Waka brothers, all 3 of them are the grandson of a former Komusubi,
Yes.
and I didn't know this until I looked up their Wikipedia page just now, but like their names all stem from 3 brothers in a famous Japanese parable.
I brought that up on the preview for
That is
the
true.
Oh, that explains why
Hatsu
I don't
Basho.
know it because I tune out.
Yes.
But regardless,
I'm having trouble formulating thoughts right now. This normally I have a lot of spice, but this is a lot of spice.
We apologize for the state your husband returns to you in, Carolyn.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry for this.
So is there? Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Grandson of a Yokozuna.
There we
Okay,
go.
so Kotonowaka, grandson of a Yokozuna.
Yep.
So I want to move into the portion where, like, is there anybody else we want to worth mentioning? And since we're talking about the young princes, I think we had 4 Rikshi that we were kind of putting in the group, the young princes. Hoshoryu, the nephew of a Yokozuna, Kotonowaka, the grandson of a Yokozuna, Shinseki Wake Wakatakakage, and Wakamoto Haru are both the son of a former Komosubi, and then grandson of a Komosubi. And Kiribayama, I don't think he has any lineage, but he's close enough in age and around these guys, so he kind of gets lumped into.
He's not one of the previous generation, the tadpoles like Matakiyu, Takakeisho, Onosho.
Yeah. But Kiribayama, all of those guys had fantastic tournaments. Wakatakakage, Shinseki Wake Wakatakakage won the Yusho. Kotonowaka 11-4, Kiribayama 10-5, and Hoshoryu got a winning record in his first Basho in the Sanyaku ranks. So that group of 4 Rikshi, I think that is the group of 4 Rikshi to kind of watch in the future for those names that are going to rise to Ozeki, to Yokozuna.
Yeah, Kiribayama, absolutely nothing in sumo history.
Yeah.
Except
he's good at it.
He's making his own sumo
That's right.
history.
But he's only there because he fits in with the rest of the group, not because he...
Hey,
I get it.
It works.
Just clarifying.
Yep. So is there anybody else that either of you guys want to bring up on this recap?
Time for the Aqua section of the recap.
Yes, I was waiting for this.
Didn't even need to ask Jake. I had pre-filled it out for him.
I literally did not even put the note in. Someone put it in for me.
No, it was Ryan.
So it took a while. He was.
What do you mean?
He was fairly memey, of course, in the beginning.
Okay.
Like he got knocked out on day 1 or 2
From Tochi Notion.
Yeah.
A boof. Literally right off the Tachi-ai.
It was great.
I will take a moment to shout out Tochi Noshin first winning record in like 3 years.
100? Oh, 3. Okay.
Wait, what?
No, I think it's actually like 7
6 or
or
7
8
Basho.
Basho.
7 Basho.
His
sounds
last
about
winning
right.
A crazy
record
long
was in Kyushu of 2020.
And was that when he was in Ozeki?
No, it was Maegashira 7.
Okay.
He was long past Ozeki.
Well, and that's what I couldn't remember.
He was like a year
Anyways,
past
though,
Ozeki.
it took a while. What I was getting at, though, was for Aqua, it took a while for him to do the specific Mimi thing that he always does, which is try the Kakenage and fall on his face. He did it on consecutive days, 13 and 14. It was amazing. It was great. Classic Aqua. But, like, from the beginning, and we talked about this on the midway, like, almost every match was incredible, stupid,
KO
crazy
day
chaos.
1.
Yeah.
Takes out a Shimpan day 2.
That's what it was, day 2, yeah.
It's like, what more did you want?
Day 4 was when he tried, like, the Ippon arm throw and
Against
just landed
Chiro no
on his
Kuni.
own face.
Yeah.
Let's see. On day 9, he got caught in a pulling maneuver, landed square on his face. Just all around, absolutely. Yeah. There you go. That's my favorite Rikshi now.
There you go. You got it. You did it.
You figured it out.
Yeah, I figured out the pattern. So he'll
That's
never win
it.
a tournament, which means that I will get slightly less grief from my friends.
Yes.
But yeah, okay, we don't have to spend any more time on it because he just absolutely delivered this tournament.
The only one that I want to bring up is Ichinojo. While it wasn't a double-digit win, still 9-6, and still the matches that he won, respectable. So bravo, Ichinojo.
And he did look like an unbeatable beast in a couple of those
Yes.
matches.
A couple, yeah.
Which he doesn't always bring that
No.
Rikshi to every Basho. It only ever shows up for a couple of days, but it's not guaranteed to show up any days in a Basho.
Yeah.
He did definitely bring that
But
Rikshi
when
out
it does,
this Basho.
holy crap.
Yeah. Real quick, both of these guys got 9 wins. Kotonowaka and Tobizaru. If there was like a second tier of fighting spirit prize, that's who I would give them to. They were both just frantic and awesome.
I love the
all tournament
emotion
long.
that Tobizaru has in
Yeah.
all of his matches.
Yeah, yeah.
I just love the emotion he brings.
All right, so we'll go through all of the lower division Yusho winners. So in Juryo, we had Ryuden winning his first career Juryo Yusho. He has now won 6 lower division Yushos, and at least 1 in each division, except, of course, the top division, Makuuchi.
You think he's going to make the cycle when he gets back
No.
up there? Neither do I.
I'd be interested if any Rikshi has done the cycle. We'll have to go back and take a look. I don't think Terano Fuji did.
Let's do it right now.
All right. In Makushita, Keen Bozan won the Makushita Yusho. This is his first career
like
Makushita
that name.
Yusho. It's only his 3rd Basho overall, as he debuted in Sandanme in November of last year when he won the Sandanme Yusho.
Isn't he?
He's from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, that's right. I knew he wasn't Japanese, but yeah, cool.
He's a big boy from Kazakhstan. In the Sandanme division, we had Kanzaki. He won his first career Sandanme Yusho, and it is his first career Basho. He is 22 years old, and he received a Sandanme Tsukedashi, debuting at Sandanme 100. In Jonidan, we had Kotetsu. It is his first career Jonidan Yusho, or first career Yusho in any division. He is 20 years old. He made it up to Sandanme previously, but got injured for 3 Basho and started back up in Jonokuchi. So this is his second Basho back from that injury that kind of knocked him down. And then in Jonokuchi, we had Kotote Bakari. This is his first career Jonokuchi Yusho. It's also his first career Basho. He is 18 years old, and he is Koto Shoho's little brother. So those are your Yusho winners from the lower divisions. Some interesting names in there. I think Kotote Bakari, Koto Shoho's little brother, could be fun one to watch, and I think definitely Keen Bozan winning the Makushita Yusho in just his third Basho. Mac is dedicated to finishing that salt milk. Oh, and that's
except
far
for like
too
the
much.
nasty brine at the bottom.
I won't do the brine.
Oh God, please don't.
Pussy. No, Mac, don't!
No, put it down
Here, my friend, and drink.
I don't have to. I finished in second. I'm safe. I'm safe!
No, you're
Bozan.
not.
Another reason to remember his name. He ruined my GSB belt. So remember last time, Ryuden had the belt the whole time and he was going to bring it up with him to the next division into Juryo, but then he lost on the last day to somebody like Makushita, like 30-something.
Right.
The exact same thing happened again. So it started on Nishikawa, the guy who beat Ryuden for the, on the last day of the previous tournament. He didn't hold it all tournament. It went through Tochimaru and Chiyono Umi before, on the final day, instead of going up to the next division with Chiyono Umi, Keen Bozan, Makushita 30-something, stole it again. So it's going to be the exact same situation. So Keen Bozan with that 7-0 is going to move up to the single-digit Makushita, and probably hold it until he's about ready to go to Juryo, and then drop it again. Actually, if it happened a third time in a row, I'd stop being mad, and it would start being funny.
It's already kind of funny to me.
It is.
Yeah, kinda.
Oh, I misspelled Flyric.
Yokozuna Flyric, how dare you?
I have to fix this on the outline. Oh, my God.
There's some nasty noises coming out of your torso, man.
Oh, it's bad.
So let's get to, obviously everybody knows how the prediction series ended up, but let's dive into a little bit more detail on that. So Flyric obviously won, and Mac obviously lost.
I think this might... Ryan, because you remember literally every sports fact. Has this happened before where somebody's champ beats all 3 other champs?
I think so. Probably somebody got like Teruno Fuji.
Yeah, okay, possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Flyric. Certainly not Mac. No.
Yeah.
No, Flyric picked Matakayumi, who ended up with 11 regular wins, but 3 of those were over the other champs, so 3 extra points.
I think it's also probably the first time that none of our chumps ever fought each other.
I know.
Yeah. They were so spread out. We had...
And it helped that Flyric switched from Ishiura to Aqua, and I don't know if Kotokuzan and Aqua...
pick, by the way, for him.
I don't know if Kotokuzan and Aqua never fought each other, but they were like Maegashira 16 and Maegashira 15. It's really strange to me that those 2 never fought.
I wonder if maybe they're...
No, they're not in
the
same division.
Stable. It's
Aqua's
just
Tatsunami with Meisei, and Hoshoryu Kotokuzan is Arashio with Wakatakakage and Wakamoto Haru.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't have those matched up against each other. Yeah. Regardless, though, it's kind of funny to me that Flyric had the best champion in Matakayumi. Mm-hmm. He had the best chump in the Ishiura/Aqua. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Mac had the worst champ and the worst chump in Abi and Wakamoto Haru.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, that was...
Cut
and dry.
Enough said.
Second straight tournament where Flyric is our winner and Mac is our loser. So
keep it going.
Let it
roll.
I'm all for it. So obviously,
it's the luck of the draw.
Mac has been eating gross stuff the entire day, but as we mentioned at the top of the episode, Mac is unable to eat the 1-chip challenge that we had promised since the preview episode, because apparently I said it once, and once I say something on the podcast, it is unable to be revoked by anybody who might have an allergic reaction to the said comments that I made.
They don't mention again for a week and a half.
Yes.
Right, of course.
But not my fault your memories are shit.
It is absolutely partially your fault that we didn't discuss this until they
If I were to say have like a strawberry allergy and we were going to have a punishment, is like, we're going to make you eat strawberries until you throw up. I'd be like, wait, we can't do that. If we do that, I will die. See how I would have done that very quickly and promptly?
Well, it's not necessarily death. I mean, I could survive.
Here you go. Here's the chip.
No, fuck off.
Bluff. Called.
So,
I could survive, maybe.
but as Max said, if we make a promise on this podcast, we're gonna follow
contractually bound
through.
to do it.
Yeah.
And if the loser of the punishment cannot follow through, it is up to us, his superiors on the podcast, to put the weight of the one chip challenge on our back. And so what we're going to do...
among other bodily parts.
Okay, I would like to point out, you didn't say that I could drink the whole thing, and I did.
I mean, that's all...
No. We said you shouldn't.
Yes!
I misheard you. Well, I still did anyway.
Indicative of your stupidity.
I didn't say I was always smart.
So,
Anyways.
what we are going to do with the one chip challenge is the other 3 members of the podcast are all going to partake in the one chip challenge. Obviously, Flyric is off doing research on marine animals, so we're not doing it today. But for the Natsu preview, we're going to get all together in the same room again. Flyric, Jake, and I are going to split the one chip challenge into 3 pieces, and each of us are going to partake of the one chip challenge, and Mac will assumedly sit there laughing for 10 straight minutes.
No, I will not be laughing. But
Yeah, it's weird. When we punish him, he enjoys it, but when we punish us, he's also sad. We just can't
It's like
win
he
with
has
him.
empathy or something.
I
Sort of
do, honestly.
some sort of weird, like, alien emotion, I guess.
Yeah. So, no one chip challenge this time, unfortunately. Next time that we do a spicy challenge, if we do one, because our friend that has a nightshade allergy can't go as far as we would like to push him.
You have salted milk. I've done pickle whiskey with
That's fair.
jalapeno juice and red pepper flakes, wasabi sauce.
You are suffering.
Thank you.
You are very much
I was
suffering.
about to say, have I not been contrite enough?
Yes.
We are too. We are in the same
But-
room as all of your gas.
That's
So-
your fault.
We still promise we will deliver on the one chip challenge. It'll be a 3-way spectacular, and it will happen on the Natsu preview, probably at the end of the Natsu preview. So that is coming. But before we move on from the punishment section, I would like to pour Mac a shot of that apple cider vinegar.
I've been waiting for this.
Yes. This is something that
Mix it with the red pepper flakes.
Ooh, all right. So this is something that I took a shot of once. When my wife was pregnant, she got diabetes. I don't remember what the proper word is to say. It's like when you get pregnant. Gestational diabetes. Thank you. And something that she could do to help. That's a lot. Well, too late. It's already been poured. Something that she could
He
do
cannot
to
be on board.
help with the diabetes was to take shots of apple cider vinegar. She wasn't looking forward to it, and so I'm like, I'm a good husband. I will do this in solidarity with you. And I took a shot of apple cider vinegar, and I almost threw up, and I haven't had a shot of it since. So, Mac, you are going to have a shot of apple cider vinegar.
With wasabi and red pepper
There's
flakes.
some wasabi sauce in there. I'm going to take this fork right here. Make sure that wasabi doesn't settle on the bottom. That's just no good for anybody involved. Get that mixed up in there. Do you have a trash can on hand?
You know which way I'm going to vomit.
It better be towards that trash can you have on hand.
Oh, but it will be.
All
right here.
We got the apple cider vinegar. We got remaining red pepper flakes. We have wasabi sauce mixed in. I am handing it over to Mac. I also have a habanero pepper that Jake has sitting around. I'm just gonna eat this for funsies while Mac does his thing. So Mac, let's kanpai one more time. Bottoms up. I miss you already.
Fruity.
He's got a good poker face, people. I tell you what,
This is why we don't play poker together.
because I suck at it.
Also true.
Oh, I apologize for chewing into the microphone with that habanero, people. I sincerely apologize for that.
You are so
It
unprofessional.
just occurred to me at the very end
If
that
I was
doing
good at
that.
podcasting and such, I would have been talking over it. But like that, why?
Look at the dregs in the bottom of this thing. That's just nasty.
I like spicy food.
Let's move on to the bold predictions
I do
before Mac
regret that.
explodes. Yeah, you want to keep reading for a while?
I'm gonna go get some milk.
You are sweaty already.
Wow, chip's gonna suck. I will be back.
Hey, don't drink the milk. It's got salt in
Be
it.
careful, it's salty.
All right, so Mac and I will cover the bold predictions theory.
Indeed.
The section while Ryan recovers. So we had some good predictions. At Reset Shift said 3-way playoff on day 15. None of them are Terano Fuji. I mean,
Who will pull
pretty
out?
close.
So actually, yeah, bravo.
Pretty close.
Teruno Fuji did pull out.
Josh Schaff said Takayasu gets at least a Jun Yu show.
Also good. Well done.
And bold. Well done. Breeze of the Dean said, I normally say Takayasu Yusho, but now I'm saying Hoshoryu or Wakatakakage Yusho. In reality,
right
it'll
on
be
the
Abi.
money. Oh, ooh, ah.
And then, no, wait, I can't. Takayasu Yusho. so pretty solid overall.
Emerald
well done.
Spectre said Takakeisho will barely make Kachikoshi. Mitakayumi has a good first Ozeki showing. Shodai will lose his rank.
Real close.
Ura will sweep the Sanyaku.
Absolutely not.
Nope, a little off on that one. And Teruno Fuji will fall to finish the Basho. Well, fail, excuse me. My vision is starting to blur. This is not good. And the
then-
frosting on this cake is Wakatakakage, Shinseki Wake Wakatakakage, will go double digits. Bravo.
Very good prediction.
Very good.
B Dash by the Bay, Wakatakakage Yusho after a string of upsets. Mitakayumi Jun Yusho, both Ozeki clear Kadoban. Really, really good. You'll see why these are only in the good and not like.
Ryan! Not doing good!
Don't worry, we got this.
We got this, dude.
So you'll see when we get to the next section, like these are spectacular bold predictions, but they're still only like second tier predictions.
And we got one more. Raul Kumar, Shodai, more wins than Abi.
Yep.
The Abi hype train derails when he doesn't get to spend the first 10 days beating up on lower rankers.
Kinda,
Yeah,
debatably.
no, I was
Yeah.
going to say debatable. That would work.
So before we get to our potential winners, we got to call out the really bad ones, which is the best part of the. Wow, buddy.
That's bad.
So Robbie said Takara Fuji is done being Mr. Nice Guy, goes beast mode, gets the U show. No.
No. At Sumo Oni, Aqua won't gall on his head. Literally, gall.
Fall on his
No,
head.
it's supposed to be fall, but I like gall. Nor fall off the doyo all tournament.
Absolutely not.
Nope, missed that one.
He stayed true to himself.
And Ryan.
He's going back for more milk.
Oh, God, no.
Brian Widmer said Taka no show U show. No.
Oh.
Shodai demoted. Nope. Mitakayumi secures 8th win on day 14. Mitakayumi actually did better, so no. So now I don't know what Ryan wanted to do for. Oh, I see.
Oh,
Okay.
you brought it in. Okay.
So
Here, wait,
Ryan,
I have a glass for you.
he's gonna chug from the bottle. So we have 3 in this category. Ryan, I'm not sure what you meant by this.
I want your help in deciding who should get the
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, so between these 3, we're gonna have to vote. I'll read them since Ryan's mouth is still not functioning. Rod Lunsford said Wakatakakage wins a playoff.
Ooh.
The only problem is he said it's against Wakamoto Haru.
I don't know about that one.
No, but Wakamoto Haru still did pretty good. And calling Wakatakakage wins in a playoff, A+.
But somehow he wasn't the only one.
Right. Not even A+. That's an S tier prediction.
Yeah.
At Beravasio, special prizes for a Koto and a Waka.
Yep.
Takayasu looks great in the first week or so, but chokes from
Absolutely
day 10
wrong.
on.
Yep. Totally incorrect on that one.
And Kagayaki stays in Makuuchi despite a Makekoshi.
So Kagayaki got the make. Kagayaki got the Makekoshi, but I do believe he will be dropping into Juryo.
Still, excellent prediction.
Excellent. Well done.
R. Davis 1227. Wakatakakage beats Takakeisho in a playoff. Only 2 syllables off there.
Yeah.
Shodai gets his 8. Terano Fuji's knees start to become an issue. Oh, that's good.
Oh, this is hard.
This is really hard.
It is.
So I am going to vote for R. Davis. Wakatakakage beats Takakeisho in a playoff. Shodai gets his 8. Terano Fuji's knees become an issue. That's my vote.
I have to go with Rod Lunsford naming Wakatakakage winning a
God.
playoff.
So
I don't care who his opponent is. He specifically says Wakatakakage wins a playoff, which is no guarantee of happening.
Well, if Ryan can speak, what do you think?
That's why I've got to go with R. Davis, 1227. He also called Wakatakakage winning in a playoff. He also called Shodai getting his 8. He also called Terano Fuji's knees starting to become an issue.
Want some jalapenos?
I'm good, thank you.
You were so confident, too.
I'm so upset with myself right now. I'm so scared for the one chip challenge now.
Here, have a jalapeno.
All right, so So we're sorry, Barra Vesio and
Rod.
sorry on pronunciation there. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. And sorry, Rod Lunsford, who I know submits good ones every time. It'll be a matter of time before both of you get one at this rate.
And
but,
Rod, I know I need to stop picking Wakamoto Haru, but one of these days he will
days.
fall.
But yeah,
Actually, that jalapeno really helped.
Yeah, have some more.
But R. Davis 1227, we will be messaging you on Twitter to get your information so we can send you
No
a
need.
shirt.
He already messaged us and was like,
Okey-dokey.
Right on.
I bet this is probably good enough to get it. I'm like, you know what? You might be right. We've got to take a look. But
And just for that chutzpah, yeah, there you go. That
All right.
secures it.
yeah. Jake, if you want to go through the GSP.
So the GSB Awards, we have 3 of them in addition to the prestigious match of the Basho. First off, Revenge of the Wedgie. Terutsuyoshin gets some of his own medicine from Tochinoshin, who actually won via wedgie.
Yes,
Terutsuyoshin
yes, he
gave
did.
Ishihara a hell of a wedgie. Was that just last tournament? Maybe
last
2 ago.
tournament or 2 ago, yeah.
But Tochinoshin one-ups him, and he's like, "I'm gonna lift you out of the dohyo by your butt crack," and it was just beautiful.
But that wasn't the only beautiful thing Tochinoshin did in this Basho.
So second-time nominee Tochinoshin.
Bringing back an
Indeed.
oldie but a goodie.
And it's a fantastic one. The Boom Headshot Award goes to Tochinoshin for completely KOing Aqua right off the Tachi-Ai. Bravo.
And continuing the train of rolling our nominations into our next one, Aqua is nominated for the One Trick Pony Award, probably again.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, stop doing the Kakinage.
It just doesn't work, man.
Stop it. On his head 2 days in a row, day 13 and 14. In addition to his other landing on his head.
Well-
But those 2 in particular were the exact thing that we call out every
Every
tournament.
time.
And our final award, as always, is the match of the Basho. And our nominees are just a couple of names happening over and over again. Day 10, Hoshoryu versus Takayasu. Fantastic match between those two. Day 13, Takayasu versus Takakeisho. Another great match. And
Then also Eri Midorikawa versus Liesl Rickoff.
Oh, yes.
Ladies
in the Wins tournament. Bravo.
At the aforementioned women's tournament down in Texas. Oh my God. These 2 had multiple matches, and I won't spoil anything other than the fact that whenever those 2 are in the ring against each other, it's incredible. They
I
were the
love
highlight
watching
of the
Eri
day
fight.
for me.
Liesl fantastic, but I love watching Eri fight.
And
But
our
back to
final
Pro
nominee-
Sumo.
Back to
Yes.
Pro Sumo.
Day 15, our playoff match between Wakatakakage and Takayasu. And as good as Hoshoryu versus Takayasu was, I think if Wakatakakage hadn't pulled off that miracle comeback, Hoshoryu versus Takayasu easily would have been match of the Basho. I think there's still argument for it, but with that miracle comeback, with the Yusho on the line, with the top 2 Rikishi from the Basho going head-to-head, it had to be our choice for the match of the Basho. So congratulations, Wakatakakage and Takayasu, for winning this award. I'm sure Wakatakakage feels a lot better about winning this award than Takayasu, but hey, they should both be proud of themselves.
Ryan, take another swig of milk. I can see your
It's
eyes. It's
mostly
bad.
the thing that's messing with me right now is if you drink milk, it makes you phlegmy, and it's really hard to talk continuously. And so that's what I'm battling more right now than the heat. Like I said, that jalapeno killed the heat really well for some reason, and right now the milk is
They don't normally do that.
is deterring me more than the remaining heat from that habanero.
It apparently putting out fire with slightly less fire is what you got to do.
That's
I've
what you
never
do.
heard of that being done.
So before we wrap up real quick, we did have some messages come in from a friend of the show on Patreon. Giuseppe Silico had a couple questions for us. First off, and this is one that I actually saw brought up a couple times on Twitter as well. There was some, Giuseppe, you're not the only one to notice this. But he said, I have noticed more and more that a Rikishi offer to help up the opponent when they fall off the dohyo, but often they don't accept the help. Are there unwritten rules about this? Is it just people being nice and or too prideful to accept help? And I'm sorry. So what I've seen mentioned on Twitter is that this has always kind of been a thing that it's the compassion to offer help.
It's the
the
honorable
winner's
thing
right.
to do for the winner to offer their
the
hand
assistance.
to their opponent, and it's the fallen opponent. It's their pride that keeps them from
That they always say
accepting
no.
the
They
help.
always
Right.
say no.
Yeah.
Except for in the last like maybe 2 tournaments or so, especially this one, there were like some notable examples where they like actually accepted help,
Mhm.
which I'm sure surprised the guy reaching out his hand.
Like, wait, hold
But-
on. You actually want this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I think it's pride on both ends. It's you got to be a gracious winner and you got to be a gracious loser when you are offered help is the general trend that we've seen and what we've heard discussed. But yeah, in the last tournament or maybe 2 or 3, whatever, there have been a couple notables. Kaisei is always like very
Oh yeah,
insistent.
I was just about to bring up
Kaisei
Kaisei.
doesn't always even give you the option to refuse his help. You know, he's
He's like, oh no, let me help you up.
yeah. But there have been. It's interesting. I have no idea why. But yeah, recently we've seen a little bit more of that compassion accepted.
Mhm.
Second question: in your long history of watching sumo, LOL,
We're coming up on what, 6 years?
maybe.
Yes.
Have you noticed any shift in the sport? Body types, techniques, consistency of rikishi, etc. I mean, I wouldn't say anything substantial. I think one thing that we have noticed over the last maybe 2 years is we're starting to see some of these cruiserweight guys have more success. We have fewer of like the tanks, fewer kaiseis. It is painful to listen to those. Teruno Fuji obviously is kind of a notable exception, but he is kind of like on the older generation at this point. But yeah, a lot of the new guys that are having success are Hoshoryu, Wakatakakage. Kotonowaka is pretty big, but he's not like a rhino, right?
Yeah,
Like
they're not what you think of when you think of a stereotypical sumo wrestler. I mean, and I hate to say that those stereotypes are in head, but when you think of a sumo wrestler, you normally think of a
Somebody who looks like
massive-
Takakeisho.
Exactly. You think of a large-bellied, maybe kind of a squatter guy, but we're seeing more and more, like you were saying, Jake, we're seeing more and more of these more muscular, not necessarily round, but just well-toned athletes coming up. And now you still have your outliers, like Nishikigi, I would say, is like a good balance between big and
Yeah.
maybe.
he's
maybe-
also definitely in the older generation as well.
But he's not to the level of Takakeisho, which is just big,
Sure.
or Chiyomaru in that case. But then you have the other end of the spectrum, like Ishiura, like Wakatakakage, or Kiribayama. You've got these other guys that are coming up that are proving that you don't necessarily need to be the tank body to do well. And that's I kind of like this transition. Yeah.
Tobizaru as well.
Yeah, Tobizaru,
I
yes.
toss in there as like what I keep calling the cruiserweight division.
Yes.
I've been fading out of consciousness for the past few minutes while you've been talking about that. It was just a
Did you want to
habanero.
bring up that there are sometimes like cruiserweight style guys that are?
I was
like,
just making sure.
getting
Did
success?
you guys bring up like Edho Midori Fuji, some of those like super
Sure.
pixies
Yeah.
that we've seen pop up? They're down in Juryo right now, but we've seen them pop up, I think, with a bit more frequency
Yeah.
than we were when we first started watching.
I guess what I would say on guys that are that small is that you can still make if your bag of tricks is deep enough, you can still make it work a little bit. But there does seem to be a lower limit on the current optimal sumo build.
There's a cap. There's definitely a cap.
Yeah, like the Hoshoryu size is
Yes,
small, but
yes.
not like tiny.
Mhm.
So like maybe that's the line where maybe the optimal size and weight for sumo is shifting more from body size towards trips, belt work, things like I don't know, whatever.
But it's working. I mean, you're seeing this
But it
happening,
is working,
And
exactly.
it's working.
You don't like Takayasu versus Wakatakakage. I wonder if we'll look back on that as like a bellwether match, in the playoff
Exactly.
as size versus just pure technique and speed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, pretty cool.
So before we move on and talk about our favorite moment of the Basho, I was kind of inspired by Giuseppe's question of what changes have we seen in the sport, and then I also was thinking back to we were talking about the standard deviation of consistency, and Brian Widmer, who sent us that data, started from Hatsu of 2017. And we had mentioned there are 18 rikishi still active from Hatsu 2017 that are competing. And so I want to see how far you guys can go in naming rikishi that are no longer in the top division that were in Hatsu of 2017. How well can you test your memory of who was around when we first got started?
We got 4 Yokozuna.
Mm-hmm.
Name them.
Oh no, I can't do
wow.
that. Hakuho, Kakuryu, Kisuno Sato, Haruma Fuji. Were they all active at the beginning of that streak?
Yes.
Okay. Ozeki. We got Koto Shogaku, Goedo.
Goedo.
Any other?
I don't think there
I
were.
think the rest of the Ozekis since then are still active.
Yes. Or weren't Ozeki at that point.
Mhm. Who else has retired recently? Tochi Ozan,
Yoshikaze.
Yoshikaze, Takekaze.
Yep.
Would you throw
Toyo Enoshima.
I
He may not have been in the top
he was
division
not
at
in the
that
top
point.
division at that time.
Arawashi?
Arawashi's not bad. Is he in here? I don't think. Oh, Arawashi. He was Mike Ashira too.
There you go. I was gonna
That
say,
was a
Arawashi
name
makes
I would
sense.
not have pulled. That
he
was a
did
good
dip
one.
down.
Yeah,
a
and
little
that was
bit,
why. Okay, hang on. I can see
There's
his
one
face.
big one that you guys are gonna. slap your-
Takakaze.
Nope, you got that.
Okay, we got that.
There's one that you're gonna just slap your heads if you don't get it.
I'm a Nishiki, but that's probably not the one that you're mentioning.
He wasn't in the top division at that time.
He might have already been gone by then or
Okay.
something. Regardless.
Let's think. This one isn't the one I was talking about slap your head, but think of like some scandals.
Okay, Takanoiwa.
Another scandal.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
maybe.
Osunarashi?
Boom. another
So
further
Kokurai.
in the.
Another scandal.
So Kokurai.
You got the three scandal boys.
Well, yeah, Osunarashi was in them. Like,
But
wait,
he
no,
was
chicken
the,
farmer.
So Kokurai was the one who was like falsely scandaled.
yes, yes.
Yeah. You guys have gotten far more than I thought, but there's still the one like
Dang it.
slap your
Okay.
forehead. I can't believe we didn't say.
All right, hold on. Give us another minute here.
Jake, I'll give you a hint. One of your least favorite Rikishi of all time.
Kodayuki.
Matt got that one.
Wow. Okay.
just
Does
knew that you hated
Asanoyama count because he's not in the top division, or is this like active, no longer active?
Asanoyama was not in the top division in Hatsu 2017.
In 2017?
No.
Wow. I guess his reign was even shorter than I realized.
Yeah. Hatsu 2017, Terutsuyoshi made his Juryo debut.
Oh wow.
Cool. I'm looking around at stuff I have in the room to see if it gives
I know.
me any
That's why I'm
hints,
like.
but
How many more are there?
I don't know.
Oh.
why don't you just tell us the one that
Yeah.
we're missing because we're dummies?
The head slappers Ikioi.
Okay, that's fair.
Some other ones that I'm seeing on the list, we have guys like Daishomaru, Chiyoo, Gagamaru, Chiyo Otori,
Those Chios some of them might still be active. Right?
Chio
but
Otori's-
not in the top division.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
Chio
what I
Otori
mean, top
still-
division.
Shohozan? Did we say him?
Shohozan, yep, Shohozan's another guy. So I think you got the bulk of them, really.
I'm impressed with us.
Yeah.
I am too. Good job. Mac is still feeling some
Especially
reverbs.
when Mac is going
we're
through
hanging
an
in there, man.
ordeal.
What do we? Give me a shot glass.
No.
You
Let's talk
fool.
about our favorite moment of the Basho, for God's sake.
All right, fine. Jake, what was your favorite moment of the Basho?
I didn't have one.
Here's
Go
your shot
away.
glass.
Leave me alone.
All right, Mac, what was your favorite moment of the Basho?
It had to have been the playoff. I mean, honestly, anytime we can get a playoff, I am always excited about that.
That's probably going to be less bad than you think.
It probably is, but you know,
It's still-
I poured Mac a small shot of the pickled jalapeno pepper juice that was in the jar.
Oh, I thought you were gonna drink that.
No, I've done enough dumb things to myself for no reason today. As Mac is drinking that, my favorite moment of the Basho, Wakatakakage winning in a playoff.
Ah, it's briny.
No kidding.
And then also the fact that the other three guys that we talked about in the Sanyaku ranks, Takayumi, Abi, Hoshoryu, all had positive forward momentum Bashos. They all had winning records. They're all going to be in Sanyaku next time. So the fact that kind of we're really, and Kotonowaka in there too, we're really seeing that wave of the future, I think, fully coming
Totally.
into form. Mac, what was your favorite moment of the Basho?
You have already asked me that.
Did I?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said the playoff.
He
yeah.
did say the playoff.
That's right.
I will amend my answer slightly that if this is the peak, it's not bad. Takayasu did so good, and it is like the hilariously small minority of wrestlers who actually get a U show. It is such a special thing to actually do it, and it is not a failure of a career if he never gets one.
But if you choke 3 separate occasions,
You just had to get that.
I
other
have
dig in there.
another
You
habanero.
Had to do it.
you can't force it down my throat.
I have Mac would help me regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless. Takayasu, if this is it, if this is the high point, the last peak, that's satisfying. I have no regrets of following his career and all that, and it was
It's
there's still so much dregs in there. But regardless, this is probably what it was like being a Vikings fan in the 70s. Yeah. So, but that doesn't mean that being a Vikings fan is wasted time, right?
No.
So that's what I'm getting at with Takayasu. It's been a fun ride. If this is it, if this is the peak, I don't expect him to retire. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But this was
Still a good run.
It was a great ride, this Basho, regardless of the result.
So that is our recap of the Haru 2022 Basho. It was a long episode. It was a very painful episode for us, for Mac in particular, for the listeners. I am sure also a painful listening
Physically for
experience.
you two, emotionally for me.
Yes.
Yes.
Look forward to more of that for Jake, Flyric, and I on the
you
Natsu
poor
preview.
bastards.
But until then, Jake, hit the stop recording button.
Oh God.
You know, if Takayasu does get a U show, I'll get a tattoo. I'll
Do
get
it.
a tattoo for him.
I mean, you already have like 5.
Yeah,
so.
but not of Takayasu's face on my face.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.